So you still think Donald Trump is a Republican? You really think he's a conservative? Well, this right here, folks, shows day 2 of his presidency that he is anything but. Now, I've made this allegation before, but I'm going to show you in this video how to not take my word for it, how to actually go to the Democrat platform, look what they say about the TPP, what they want to do with the TPP. You can also for yourself go to the Republican platform and see what their policy is on free trade. And then you can also go to the Nazi National Socialist Program Party and see their 25-point program and see which one of those agrees more with Republicans or with Democrats. So here we go. This is a picture, of course, from the AP of Donald Trump and him lauding his withdrawal from the TPP. Well, here we go. Democrat, this is their website, democrats.org, party platform, and this is promoting trade that is fair and benefits American workers. Now, you can read through this. Over the past 3 decades, America has signed too many trade deals that have not lived up to the hype. And you can go with Democrats' party significantly strengthen enforcement of existing trade rules, holding countries accountable on currency manipulation. That is a Donald Trump policy. But right down here, and you can read through this. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time reading through this for you because you can do it for yourself. Once again, democrats.org/party-platform #trade. Very last sentence, folks. These are the standards Democrats believe must be applied to all trade agreements, including the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It was in their 2016 platform that they wanted to withdraw from this. The Republicans and the conservatives wanted to stay in it. What does Donald Trump do? He goes right back to his Democrat roots. He was a Democrat back in the 90s and 80s when he was attacking Ronald Reagan for cutting taxes. He was a Democrat in the early 2000s when he attacked George Bush, and he financed the re-election campaigns of Rahm Emanuel. He financed the re-election campaign of Harry Reid. This man is a Democrat. He got us out of the TPP, and that's what the Democrats wanted to do, and that is exactly what he just did. First thing. Now, one of the other big things that Donald Trump loves to talk about, and we'll go right here, and just in case, just to go ahead and put a nail in it, 7 actions to protect American workers. Protecting American workers has always been a Democrat union thing. I'll announce my intention to renegotiate NAFTA, withdraw from TPP, currency manipulator. I just showed you that in the Democrats' own platform. I don't know how, as a conservative, conservative, Republican, anybody can come here who supports Donald Trump and say that now that this is somehow just my opinion or it's fake news. This is his actions. This is his contract. That place that just took you was the Democrat platform. None of that's my opinion. That's his actions. Here it is again. 4th, Secretary of Commerce, U.S. Trade Representative, all trading abuses. Once again, that just goes to the currency manipulation thing. I mean, it's just Middle Class Tax Relief and Simplification Act and the Offshoring Act. Now, back to the Democrats, okay? Platform. Just read it. Economic plan designed to grow the economy 4% per year, 25 million new jobs through massive tax reduction, simplification, in combination with trade reform, regulatory relief and lifting the restrictions on American energy. The largest tax reductions are for the middle class. A middle-class family with 2 children will get a 35% tax cut. Okay, and it cuts the number of brackets. Basically, he's aiming at the middle class. Okay, well, let's go to the Democrats.org. Let's look at what they say they want to do with... Now, when they put something in a platform, remember, folks, they're putting it in a platform because it contrasts with their opponent. Okay, and you just have to give me a second to scroll up here because I don't want to scroll past it. Shooting video and doing this is different than doing it for yourself. Raise incomes and restore economic security for the middle class. Democrats believe we must break down all barriers holding Americans back and restore the basic bargain that built America's mighty middle class. If you work hard and play by the rules, and you can read through this for yourself. Okay, guess who else thought that supporting the middle class was a great idea? 25-point program, NSDAP. Who were the NSDAP? These were the Nazis. This was Adolf Hitler. Okay, go down here. And we go right to point 16. Point 16, we demand the creation of a healthy middle class and its conservation, immediate communalization of the great warehouses, blah, blah, blah. And you can read through this for yourself. So once again, this is not opinion reporting here. This is me showing you where you can go to understand the thinking of the man that you've just elected president. He is right in line with the Nazis. He's right in line with the Democrats. He is not a Republican. He is not a conservative. Now, those of you out there thinking I'm attacking Democrats and calling all Democrats Nazis, I'm not. The modern day Democrats, that people that support them are more liberal than they are Democrat, and there's a distinction there, but it's just the name of the party. Nevertheless, this video is aimed towards conservatives and Republicans who think that they just won something and that they have this wonderful servant of conservatism. Just not the truth, folks. This guy has been a Democrat all his life, and he fooled people, and he fooled them like you cannot believe. If we go back to, there's one other thing I wanted to cover here. The illegal immigration thing. This has been talked about so much, I probably don't even have to tell you what Donald Trump's position on it. But once again, it's in here. Number 5, whoever has no citizenship is to be able to live in Germany only as a guest. Authority of legislation for foreigners, we've covered this before. And any further immigration of non-citizens is to be prevented. I mean, this is something right out of the Nazi Party. And you can find it in the Democrats too. They have a little bit different take on it. But it's still nationalism. It's pro-nationalism. And this is a hallmark of the Nazi. This is how they operate. This is the first place they go when they want to infiltrate a society. They go to nationalism. They get people all whooped up talking about their own flag and talking about their own country and doing things. And that makes everybody feel good. It really does. But this is how it starts. In 1939 and 1938, in the 30s, when these people came to power, the Nazis, speaking of, they didn't run on a platform of we're going to gas the Jews. They didn't run on a platform that, we're going to, do horrible medical experimentation on Jews. That's not what they ran on. They ran on nationalism and getting people and exclusionary and protectionist stuff. Protectionism has been tried. What it does is it sounds good on its face when you say we want to promote American products and American businesses and give them an edge in the markets, no matter what you make, whether it's cars or VCRs or whatever. But what it led to back in the 80s was other countries, because they had such a higher bar to climb with all of these protectionist tariffs and policies, they made better products. They made better, more competitive products that people would even pay more for because they were better. That's why, we have Accords and we have Camrys and we have Altimas out on the road, and they're some of the best because they had a harder road to go. Anybody remember the 80s K cars? The cars that were made by this country in the 80s when this protectionist stuff was put in place? It was horrible. The cars were big and bulky and they were terrible on economy and they fell apart, but the companies could afford to be this lax with the way they produced things because they had these protectionist policies in place and they were going to be able to compete financially in the markets because they had this advantage. This is why Republicans and conservatives want there to be free trade, because we want to put everybody on the playing field out there. And, even if they can make cars cheaper in China, well, if they can make the same car in China for less money, and you can have a fantastic, wonderful car that, says Honda or Toyota on it for 20 to 25% less, how is that bad for the American consumer? Now, there's, people who build cars and say, well, that's not fair because they can pay their people less. Well, it's part and parcel of the deal of living in America is that we have, we're going to put our policies and our ideas up against everybody else's. And in some ways we're going to win, and in some ways they're going to win. But that's how you get the best of everyone. That's how everyone is guaranteed to give 100% and 110%. There's never been any lack of American ingenuity or innovation. And people are crawling and climbing over walls to come here. And this, I don't care if he builds a wall down there or not, people are still going to come here. Just for the opportunity for themselves to make their own way. Not with, we don't need the help of government. We don't need the protectionist policies of government to succeed in this country. I mean, this whole thing crying that, these people say, well, it's not fair that this country does this and this country does that. I'm sorry, folks, but that's whining. That's crying. And for conservatives and Republicans to want to go to this dictator so that he can write policies that even the playing field and level the playing field. What's this whole thing that Republicans Republicans and conservatives have been complaining about? Everybody gets a participation trophy. Everything's even always for everybody always. That's not a Republican or conservative value. You want to rise and succeed against odds and overcome situations that you wouldn't have normally been able to if everything had just been, participation trophy driven. So I didn't mean to go off on a rant there, folks, but this guy, I'll say this right now. If any other Republican had been nominated for president, I wouldn't be here right now. There'd be no videos. My issue is with this man, not with Republicans, not with conservatives, and not with their values. It's because this man is a charlatan, just like Marco Rubio said, and a huckster, just like Rand Paul said. Right off the bat, they called him Day One, Debate One. This man's a Democrat, and he's playing a game, and he succeeded at it. So, anyway, thanks for the support on the channel. I really appreciate it, folks. Sorry for the rant, but sometimes I just got to get off my chest. We're going to get back to the operations, my key operations here pretty quick, but I think I've laid out enough for you folks to get operating in your own communities. So thank you very much for coming and listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you.